Hello my lovelies, so this is Lizzie from Love From Lizi, and today I'm bringing you part 1 of my June 10 card 1 kit video. So I'm just going to show you quickly at the beginning how I'm making my card bases. I make them all the same. I split my cardstock lengthways and then I score it in half at 5.5, and then I fold it and just score along that edge. Okay, so I'm going to jump into card 1. This video has got some super simple cards. They're going to be really easy to replicate should you so wish. My little boy is not very well at the moment. He's had a fever for the last 5 days, and he's kind of attached to me, and this is the first time this evening that I've actually had some time to be able to make, so I thought I'd quickly get this video out and kick off the design team with making their cards, so that it gives me a little bit more of a chance to get the further 6 cards finished. So I've taken one of the cards apart and snipped it out, and then I've heat embossed from the stamp set saying "For You" with Love From Lizi Golden Crown embossing powder. I used my anti-static powder tool and then just stamped in Versamark. Now I will do my kit leftovers and my product run through in the second part of this video because I'm not sure which products I'll continue to use, but I've attached that down with my Deluxe Nouveau adhesive, and then I've taken the sway peel-offs that come in as part of the June card kit, and I'm just sort of snipping the ends a little bit so that the corners of my panel look nice and tidy. It's personal preference, it's not necessary, it's just that I like it to look like it has a very finished corner to it. And I just run the medium width peel off all the way around the edge of that cutter part. So this is all nice and flat to a black card base. You could, of course, if you wanted to, finish the inside with some white cardstock for your sentiment, or you're more than welcome to obviously use like a white gel pen or a coloured gel pen. Anyhow, I've taken some of the white pearl specialty cardstock from the kit, and I've die cut one of the swans that comes in the kit. And I've taken a piece of gold mirror cardstock from my stash and die cut that swan again, simply so that I can pull that gold foiling in from the cutter part piece. Now I've backed the swan with foam tape, and then I've flipped it over and popped a tiny bit of foam tape up behind where that gold heart would sit, attached that onto the front, and then I've taken the gold gems that come as part of the kit, and then just using my craft knife so that my fingers are out of the way, I just run a strip of them across one of that dark strips on the heart, just to create a little row. So that's the first card, super simple, but nice and easy to ease myself into the card making again. So now we're on to card 2. Now this one, I took one of the pattern papers and I by eye lined it up onto my card base. Now I do a lot with using my pencil, my T-square ruler and a pair of scissors. I really do enjoy the trimmer or the guillotine, because it gives you that perfect edge. However, it wastes pattern papers, so I tend to use scissors. Now I wanted to put a border strip with this sticker, and I didn't line it perfectly. It was nice and straight. I used the grid mat, but the pattern paper I had cut was slightly small, but I knew it wouldn't be a problem because I was going to use some peel-offs, and peel-offs hide a multitude of sins with things like this. So between that sticker and the pattern paper there is ever such a slight gap, but I've attached that down, and then I use the widest of the 3 sway peel-offs just to cover over that seam, and it hides that slight mismeasurement on my part. Nobody will ever know other than everybody that's watching this video, of course. And then I've taken one of the doilies that comes as part of the kit, and I've taken the Hello Love stamp, which is quite a detailed stamp. So again, I've used that Golden Crown embossing powder because it's ultra fine, and it will really pick up the detail because it's got like a vine pattern within this lettering. It's really very pretty. And then I heat set it. Now heat setting on a doily is quite difficult because the paper wants to flap around, so I just sort of supported it with my fingers at the top and at the bottom and just kept moving it because I didn't want to burn that doily. And it heat set beautifully, and it actually shows some of the texture of the doily in the embossing, which I'm really pleased with. And here I was toying with using a heart sticker, but in the end I decided to use one of the flowers that matched in with the pattern paper, and then I cover the centre of the doily at the back in Scotch foam mounting tape, because I like the idea of there being a bit of movement around the edge of the doily, and also with all the little holes it would have been quite difficult to 3D mount it. So I've popped that slightly over to the side, making sure that all of my stamped image was over the card base and then trimmed off the edge. And then I've taken the Nuvo drops that come in the kit, which are caramel cream, and I've put tiny weeny little dots in between sort of the scallops on that sticker. And then I went back in sort of the middle and did some bigger dots. Now, I did have a little bit of a nightmare. I got an air bubble in one of the dots and another one sort of had a drag tail, but as long as you correct them quite quickly, you wouldn't know. You could look at the card now and you wouldn't see it. And then I ran a further line of super small dots along that edge, and that is the end of that card. I do put still shots at the end of the video, so you can have a closer look and pause if you want to. Now we're into card 3. Now this one I've cut some patterned paper and mounted that onto a cream card base, give it a nice firm press. And then I've taken another one of the cutter parts, which has got this gold foiled remember on it, which is gorgeous. I've taken the black specialty cardstock from the kit, trimmed that down as well, just so that it's a slight frame. And then I've taken this swan and die cut it out, and it's a very fiddly swan. So I laid down my coffee filter and used a pokey tool just to get all those little pieces out, and then super easy to get that all in the bin, just tip it off the filter. But there's no waste because I used the matte parts to die cut the swan from. Put the glue on a matted piece so that I didn't get glue all over my craft mat by putting it on the back of the cutter part, and then use some foam mounting tape on the back there just to pop that up on my card base. Now, because the swan is slightly larger, I put it up towards the top left hand corner, and then I only put glue behind the swan on the piece that would sit on the cutter bar, and I just sort of hovered it over just to double check. So the bottom part of the swan is floating free, and I know some people wouldn't like that, and you can get the Cool Tack clear foam, but again this is quite a detailed swan, so it wouldn't have been easy. And then I've just taken a little piece of little bit more of the black specialty and die cut some of the little flowers that come in the kit, and one of those flowers, the petals that it cuts out, are actually these tiny weeny little hearts that you can just see there on the blending mat of my craft mat. I attached down 5 of the flowers using just some glue and my tweezers to get them into place, and then I pop some of these tiny weeny little hearts, again using the Nuvo glue, and I use my jewel picker just to get those down. And that's the end of card 3. So now card 4, and I absolutely love like geometric and like these diamonds. Both the paper and the stickers really called to me, and I was really pleased to be able to find something to do with them. So I sort of decided on a diagonal theme on the card base, and so I held it up over the pattern paper that coordinated with the stickers that I liked, and I cut a piece so that it would sort of sit slanted across my card base, and attached that flush using my glue. And then once that was down onto the card base, I trimmed off the excess because I did overcut slightly, and then I've taken these diamonds that are on the stickers that are part of the kit, and I'm just laying those onto some of that black cardstock. You don't have to do this, you could use anti-static powder tool and then just pop them up, but I liked giving them that nice little border, being that there was this white border on the pattern paper. I think it just gave it a nice little finish. I ended up using 6 of the diamonds. I didn't want to be overusing them, and I picked one that had a sentiment saying miss you, because there are 2, there's miss you and then there's love, and I decided to go with the miss you, being that it could be a sympathy card, or it could just be a I haven't seen you for a while, you know, let's meet up kind of card. And I fuss around placing, seeing how I want them to sit, and I decided to go at the opposite diagonal angle to the way that the pattern paper had sat, and then I use some black 3D foam squares just to pop those up. And you can use whites, there's no, you know, you don't have to use black, it just, I think it gives it that more finished look. If you look at it from the side, you're not going to get that bright white between the darks. So having popped those on, I then took the lemon glitter peel-offs that were released, and they came as part of the peel-off bundle, and I run these along some of the white lines. I run them along the top edge, and then every other line going in the adjacent angle. I could have used my sway peel-offs that come in the kit, but because this was such hard lines with the diamonds, putting the sway in and putting that wave, it just didn't quite sit right with me. So I just popped some of those on, and then I removed all the backers and actually attached everything down. And once everything was stuck down, I then flipped the card over and trimmed the edges just to make sure that it all looked nice and flush on the edge. And then I just wanted to give it that one little pop more. So having made it all nice and super tidy, I used some mini glue dots on the back of one of the gold bows that comes into the kit, and I just attached that under the Miss You diamond, just to give it a little something. And so these are the 4 cards. My next 6 cards will be coming very soon. Thanks ever so much for sticking with me to the end. Please let me know which is your favourite, and until next time, a very happy paper crafting. Bye!